So today's webinar is going to be a little bit different. Today I will be showing you a new feature called Whiteboards, which we'll be bringing out on beta later today. So I'll be showing you, the brand new homepage and some brand new features that you will have access to in the next couple of hours. So this is a beta. So there are some features still being worked on and tweaked. And over the next week, we will be, looking at people's responses, looking at what's working and what's not. And the finished product may be slightly different when we officially launch this view. So it's 32 minutes past now, so I'm going to get started. So if you have been using Ayoa for a while, you would have noticed that this homepage is quite different to what you can currently see in your app. And you can see we've got this brand new edition, Whiteboards, and we've marked this as beta as well. So just to give you a quick look at what you can create on a whiteboard, this is a whiteboard that I have created earlier. So you can see I've got loads of content in here. I've separated my whiteboard into different sections. In here, I've got attachments I've uploaded. You can see that I've got to-do lists. I've got sticky notes, which I've been able to add, in sections, outside of sections. I've got lots of images. Over here, I've got a flowchart that I've created. And I've got this, infinite canvas where I can build and create lots of interesting content. And just like in my maps and taskboards, I can collaborate on this content with a group of other people. So you can see on my sections, I can even use GIFs as a background. So it's really easy to make this, interesting and eye-catching. So now I'm just going to pop back to the home page and show you how we would create a new whiteboard. So simply click Create Whiteboard here. So along with the whiteboard, what we're also introducing in this update is a brand new library of templates. So these templates aren't just in whiteboards, we've also added them to taskboards and mind maps as well. So if you're ever stuck at how to structure your boards, or you just need a bit of inspiration, you can have a look in the templates and we've organized them for you. For example, we've got templates around brainstorming, idea generation, problem solving, making decisions. There's lots in here for you to really help you get started. So, for example, I'm gonna pick a template just to begin with, just to show you, how easy it is to get started. So, for example, we've got a monthly planner here. You can rename this here, so we can name this, December. In each template, we've given a description of how you can use that and what you might find it useful for. And here you can invite people to collaborate with you, just in the same way as you would if you're in a mind map or a taskboard. So these new templates, they are available to free users as well. So, anyone that is brand new to Ayoa, you've got all this content there ready for you to help you get started. So an additional feature we have with whiteboards is that we've made it even easier to take your ideas from whiteboards and mind maps actually, and add them into taskboards so that you can start actioning your ideas. And rather than create that later on, you can click here and choose to create a taskboard that will be created exactly at the same time, so that you can have these two linked boards. So you can even, get that started with a template, which means that you won't be starting from a blank mind map. For example, I could pick a Kanban board, and that means before I've even gone into that task board, it's already structured for me. So now I'm going to click Create Whiteboard, and it creates this new blank page for me, ready to add my content. So I did mention this is on beta, so some things may take a little while to load. The team behind the scenes are actually getting this ready to launch at the moment. So you may have to occasionally bear with me if there are any issues. So bear with me. There we go. So you can see that our team have created this template for you where they've created this using sticky notes. And by using the sticky notes, they've arranged it in a way where you've got, just like you'd have on a whiteboard in real life, all these different notes and this structure, where you can have, add all those different ideas. So if you wanted to add like additional information here, right at the top, we've got our sticky notes. So this is great for adding either comments, ideas, and other things you want to share with your team. You've got a few different shapes to choose from and a few different colors as well. And once you pick something, just choose which size and color you want and simply drag and drop it onto the board. So I'm zooming in using my mouse scroller. It's as easy as that. I've added a sticky note there. Now, if I want to add a list instead, this is the next icon down. And I've got a couple of different options. So a couple of different colors. Again, it's as easy as just dragging and dropping the color you want onto your whiteboard. I'm just going to scroll in so you can see a bit better. Just close that. So then down the bottom, I can start adding my to-do lists. I can choose to either make this a bit bigger, or I can simply use the scroller as well if I need to keep this list a bit smaller. If I've decided I've chosen the wrong color, we're clicking to here, change the color. And it really is just that easy to add a really handy to-do list. And all of these things are drag and drop. It's really easy to reposition it. There's no constraints there. You can just move things about, the way that you want. So here we've got images. So at the very, very top, we've got our link to Unsplash, which is a royalty-free site. So I can just type in a keyword and it brings up different image options here. Again, really, really easy. You can add captions if you want as well. So you can also upload your own images if you want. And then we've also got our sketch tool. So our sketch tool is available on mind maps and taskboards as well. And this basically opens up a little paint studio where you can, pick and choose different colors, different shapes. just play around with different shapes. I mean, what I'm drawing right now is absolutely rubbish. I'm sure you could do something better. Just to give you an idea of the different tools available. There we go. You could definitely do better than me. So then once you've got your image, just click Save and Exit. You can crop it, then click Add Image. It's as simple as just dragging and dropping that image anywhere onto your whiteboard. So the next option is text. So you can type in, what you want to add. Simply drag and drop it anywhere onto the canvas. So I can add emojis here as well. And I can overlap this text in other places as well. So I could add this over an image. I could add this over a sticky note, just to create an effective whiteboard. Now, this option here allows you to drop in shortcuts to your other mind maps and your other task boards. So, let's say that there are related task boards and mind maps that you want to jump to really quickly. Well, you can add links straight in here. You could even add links to existing whiteboards as well. So, pick and choose what you want to add. And then it's just a case of dragging and dropping. And then you can simply click open, open the mind map, and that will take you, straight to it. And you can have multiple mind maps and task board and whiteboard shortcuts, on your whiteboard. There's no limit to that. Permissions wise, anyone who clicks on that, they're only going to be able to open that board shortcut if they've already been added to it. So don't worry about people seeing stuff that they shouldn't. They would have to have been already invited to that board in order to view it. Our next option here is attachments. So like on mind maps and task boards, you can upload from your computer. If you use Dropbox or Google Drive, you can add links to files in those folders. So attachments are exclusive to Ayoa Pro and Ayoa Ultimate users. If you are a free user, you won't have access to this feature here. The one other restriction that free users will have is that you'll be limited to adding up to 50 elements onto your whiteboard. So what we mean by elements is different things like this. So for example, sticky notes, sections, anything you can drag onto the board will be seen as an element. And once you've hit that limit, you won't be able to add any additional things to the board without deleting it first. So down here, we've got the Flowchart Maker. So we've had lots of questions from you guys about making flowcharts, making organizational charts, process maps, and things like that. So things that, mind maps don't quite work for. So now you can do all of that in this Flowchart Maker. So you can see on the side here, there are loads and loads of different icons to choose from. Anything you can think of really. And you're completely free in here to, build your flowcharts or your process chart in any direction that you need. And it really is just as easy as like dragging and dropping. So I'm not going to spend too long in here, but just to give you a quick idea of how you might build one of these. You can see that it also guides you to help you keep everything in line as well. On this side, you've got your style panel, so you can quickly edit the style, and then it's simply save and exit. It creates the flowchart. You can drag and drop it anywhere onto your whiteboard. So to give you a better example, I'm going to show you one that I made earlier. You can go back and open these flowcharts at any time. So you can see here that I've used that very sort of basic flowchart technique where I've got my diagonals for where there's a question or there are different options available, and I've used circles for start and end points. And I've used squares for answers. You can change the colors individually, and you can change the style really easily as well. So for anyone who has really wanted to create flowcharts within Ayoa that wasn't able to before, perhaps you wanted to put together an organizational chart for your company, you can do all of that within the flowcharts. Down here, we've got the draw tool. So this allows you to create, it's a bit like the sketch tool, but you can draw directly on the canvas. So just bear with me a moment. As I mentioned, we're out on beta, so still working on a few little minor things we need to update. So I thank you for your patience while we work on that. Tell you what, I'm gonna switch to this one a minute. So for example, this is something that I've drawn earlier, where I've used shapes, arrows, and the paint tool. So for example, I could use paint tool just to draw something very quickly. And then click done. And I've got my image there. I can then click on the arrow instead. So I can choose what direction it goes in, the color, the width, and I've got different options here as well. So, I could use this to, if I'm discussing something on a sticky note, I can put this in the direction of an image and show how different things are connected. I just click done. And then we've got different selections of shapes here as well. I can choose the shape fill, shape outline, and how thick that outline is, and just draw it on the canvas. So I could use that to decorate different sticky notes, different sections. Got lots of different options there. So you can see that on this whiteboard, I've got different little sections where I've gathered different sticky notes and lists and documents that I've made. And you can make your own sections, this option here. So you can choose for either a rounded edge or a straight edge, a couple of different colors to choose from. So pick your color and you can just drag and drop it. We can rename it. You'll make it bigger, smaller, and simply drag and drop any content you want to put in there. So as your whiteboard becomes bigger, you may want to start consolidating different sticky notes and images. What you can do is create collections. And to do that, all you need to do is drag and drop these items on top of each other. So for example, I just drag and drop try it over here instead. So drag and drop this image here. So you can see I've now created a new collection. So if you had a lot of images and perhaps you didn't want them to take up too much space, you could create a new collection here and name it. You can then do exactly the same with sticky notes. So just drag and drop them on top of each other, and that creates a collection. So you can then see those different notes inside there. And to remove that, just drag and drop it back out. And that removes the sticky notes. Same with the images, you can just drag and drop them back out. So, once you've started, building your ideas and collaborating with people, there might be certain things in here that you want to action. And to make that quicker and easier, we've added a taskbar. So if I click on this, at the moment, I'm on a project. I'm just going to close that. So when you first open it, you will see this, and you have an option to attach a taskboard. So you can either choose from one of your existing taskboards, or you can create a brand new one. So you can just name it here. Give a description if you want. Invite anyone you want to collaborate with. Then click Create Taskboard. So that taskboard has now been created and is accessible through Ayoa now. But I don't even have to open that taskboard in order to create categories. So I just click on the plus here. Now I've got my categories. So now that I've got categories and I've got my taskboard open, I can drag sticky notes into these categories to create tasks. So for example, there's this one here, research free gift options. I might decide, actually, we need to do this. I want to create this and turn this into a task. So if you hover or click on the sticky note, you'll see this little icon here. It's just a case of just dragging and dropping it to the category. You can see one task added. If I click on this, I've now got a task in this category. So if I click on to Taskboard, you can see that I now have a new task board, and it's added that task which we've literally just created. So I'm not limited to one task board per whiteboard. I can add tasks to different task boards. I can create new ones at any time. And I can open the task within this whiteboard without ever exiting it either. So the taskbar is fantastic when there are, little tasks that you want to drop in really quickly. But if you want to convert the entire whiteboard to a mind map or to a task board, we've got that option as well. So if you click up here, you've got your export options. So you can export it as a mind map, export it as a task board. You can also see you can export it as a PNG image or a JPEG image as well. If you are a free user, you won't see the PNG and JPEG image options, but you will see export as mind map and export as task board. So just an example, we're going to export this as a mind map. So you can either add it as branches to an existing mind map or just create a completely new mind map. So you can see that the name of the whiteboard is now that central idea. And we've got different sections as the parent ideas. We've got sticky notes that are on their own as parent ideas as well. And then, all that additional content and images are attached as well. So you can do exactly the same with task boards as well. So export as a task board. Again, you can choose to add all this content to a task board that you already have, or just create an entirely new new task board. And then once these mind maps and task boards are created, you can edit them in exactly the same way as you would do any other mind map or task board. And once it's done exporting, we'll have a quick look just to show you, how that looks once it's exported. It's taking a little bit longer. So what I'm just going to do is show you some other little tips and tricks. So, if you've been working on the whiteboard and you accidentally navigate away from the center, you can just click down here and this will zoom to fit and move your whiteboard more central so that you can see, more of your task board. There we go. So it's ready. I'm just going to click open. You can see the different sections are categories and all the different sticky notes and images have been added as tasks. So it's as easy as that. So it's really easy to go from that planning stage to that project management stage. If you don't want to export the entire board, you can export it section by section. So if you click here on the 3-dot menu on your section, you can see you can export it as a mind map or export it as a task board, rather than exporting that whole task board. So just like in My Maps and Taskboards, our paid users will have options to manage their permissions, so they can control who can delete other people's whiteboard items, who can invite others, and you can also manage it at a user level. So if you want someone to only be able to read the map, you can do that. Or if you want to make someone admin, you can do that as well. But what you can also do on whiteboards is actually lock items. So, if there was just one section that you didn't want anyone to edit, you can click on this 3-dot menu and click lock item. You can see a little lock appears above it. I can't move anything on this now, and neither will anybody else. They won't be able to delete anything. They won't be able to add anything to it. This is completely locked to them. So you can do that on anything on this whiteboard. So if I wanted to lock, individual sticky notes, I can do that as well. And then to unlock it, just click unlock item. So you've got, a couple of different options there to control and manage who can change and who can edit different contents. Okay, so I've given you a preview of the new Whiteboard beta, which is coming out this afternoon that you'll have access to. So I just want to check, if anyone has any questions about what I've showed you today. Are there any features you have any questions about, or is there anything else you'd like to ask? So I'm just going to open up the floor to you to ask any questions. So while I'm waiting for your questions, I'm just going to advise you on how you can find out more. So if you want to access our step-by-step support guides, they are available on support.ayoa.com. That covers all the different platforms, including Android and iPad. Then on our YouTube channel, we have a selection of different how-to videos, including recordings of previous webinars we've done. So if you're interested in finding out about other views, such as mind maps or taskboards, or just a simple, how to get started, that's all available on our YouTube channel. And you can contact us at any time on support@ayoa.com with any additional questions you have. So the next webinar we'll be doing will be getting started with Ayoa. So that will be at the same time next week. During our getting started webinars, we go over how to use mind maps, how to use taskboards, and how to connect the two. And we'll also be talking about the taskbar that has now also been added to the mind map view, as it's a new exciting way to action your tasks while mind mapping. Okay, there don't seem to be any questions. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to finish up this webinar for today. But if after this session there are any questions that occur to you, you just pop us over an email at support@ayoa.com, and I would be delighted to help. I hope you found this interesting. The Whiteboard beta will be coming today in the next few hours. And over the next week or so, we will be looking forward to any feedback you have as we test and use this new feature. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.